Welcome to part 5, Learning the Arabic Alphabet. Let's get started now. Okay, now our next letter is the B. This is, again, it's a T, but it's a deep T, okay? So when you say a T, the sound is coming from the front of your mouth, T. But when you say this letter, which is the ba, it's a T, but it's coming from the back of your mouth, okay? This is how it's written. Look, again, we have this shape, but this time it has a long line on top of it. This is the ba, okay? And the rules of this letter apply, the same rules for the letters before that. It can be connected from both sides. So it comes like this in the middle. So a letter from here, and a letter from here, and this is how it comes in the end. Pretty straightforward. And if we take some examples for this, we have the verb tar, which means he flew, okay? It starts with this, like ta. Now, ta, so that we have an ah, ta, r. Okay, let's put the tashkil marks. We have a ta, so we say tara, which means he flew, tara, okay? And we have a word made out of two letters, which is a duck, quack, quack. There we go. Start with a b, like this, batt. Okay, batt. This is, again, you can feel how it's coming from here. It's a T, but it's coming from the back. Okay, so that does it for this letter. Let's move on to the next one. The next one looks exactly like the B letter that we just learned, but it has a dot on top. Okay, now this is kind of one of the least used letters in Arabic, and also one of the confusing ones as well. I'll tell you why. Look at this. Because this one sounds kind of like that deep the, which is b, that letter, bad, but this one is called ba. Now, the difference between this one and the other one is something that is not, mastered by even most Arab speakers. But the difference is this. This one, when you say it, it's like a the, so your tongue goes out of your mouth, the, but you're producing the sound from the back, okay? That's the only difference. I don't want you to worry about these, hard to master letters at all, okay? Do what you can. And over time, as you progress in Arabic, you can slowly start to, fine-tune the way you're pronouncing these, okay? But for the time being, don't worry about them at all, okay? And actually, you can come back to these lessons, months down the line and try to master how this is pronounced, okay? So this is like a the, tongue is going out of the mouth, but you're producing the sound from the back. So instead of the, it's bl, okay? You can feel the sound coming out from here. And there's a few words that actually use this letter. So the same rules apply. This is how it looks like in the beginning. When it comes in the middle, it's like this. And when it comes at the end, it's like this. Okay? We'll learn a two-lettered word that uses this, which is habb, which means chance or luck. Ha, remember the ha? I want to blow the line a bit, forgive me. Okay, this is habb. Okay, let's move on. Now, we have another letter, and this one is the Ain. Okay, this is how Arabi is written. It starts with I. How do you pronounce this? You know the letter A? If you say that, but tighten your throat when you say it. So just not just an it's an you kind of tension this area to get that sound. Try to imagine the way Arnold Schwarzenegger would say it, like, I don't know. Okay, so it's over here. So you kind of put some tension over here to produce an A. It's like a tensioned A sound. So let's see how this is written. This looks like a crescent moon sitting on the top of another crescent moon. Okay, so this is the I sound. Now when this comes at the beginning, it's written like this. Start writing. And when it comes in the middle, it is written like this. Okay, now you're wondering, what does this have to do with this? Beats me. Okay, but this is how it's written in the middle. And when it comes at the end, it's written either like this, or you can write it like this. Okay, so this is the letter Ain. Ain, okay? Now let's try to write some examples with this. Famous name is Omar. Now, the name Omar, everybody says Omar, with an O in English. The actual way to pronounce it is Omar. Omar. It's coming out from here. Let's see how to write that. Although this name has a letter that we haven't taken yet, but bear with me. So, this is this is the meh letter. We're going to take that in a bit. And re, okay? And we can write the word Arab, which means the Arabs. A, re, and a good old boat shape, which is Arab. Now, let's put the diacritical marks over here. So for Omar, O, how might look at my mouth? O. So that means it has dhamma on the top, that little we shape. Ma, Omar. And here we have Arab. There's a fatha over here, Arab. Okay? So this is the letter Ain. Okay? Let's move on to the next one. This next letter looks exactly like the Ain, but it's a R sound. Okay? The people who know French will have no trouble with this letter at all, because this is how the French pronounce their R letter. It's like R. R. Okay, so here we go. It's like this. Crescent moon on top of another crescent moon. But you guessed it, there's a dot over here. Okay, this is the R. Now, how do you pronounce that sound if you've never pronounced that sound before? It's the same G, like the G, G, but when you say it, you go deeper. G, R. You don't make, see, try to notice when you're pronouncing the sound G, the back of your tongue is touching the roof of your mouth. G. But with the R, it's the back of your tongue barely touching the roof. It's like a little bit of contact, which produces this R sound. R. Okay? The sound is coming from here. Now, the same, how do we write this? The same rules apply for the Ain. In the beginning, it's like this. The dot. And in the middle, it's like this. Again, we have this reverse triangle. And at the end, it's like this. Okay? And you can also write it like this at the end. Okay? Let's take some examples. We can write west, which is غرب. غرب. Now, so we start with the r. R is a غرب, and then b. We can write صبغ. صبغ means paint, a pigment. So, this is the letter we just took. B. And ends with a r. Okay. Don't forget the dot. صبغ. You can say we're saying صبغ, there's a little u. So, صبغ. Okay. And we can write crow. Crow in Arabic is غراب. So we can say غ. Immediately you notice that there's a غراب. غراب. غ. It's like a ru, r, ab. Okay, so that does it for the letter r. Our next letter is the f. Okay, finally an easy one again. F is the equivalent of the letter f. Okay, this is how you write the f. Okay, kind of looks like the the b, but it has a little circle on in the beginning of it. So, and it has a dot. This is the f. This is how it comes. I mean, the important part of this letter is this. So when you start a word with it, it's going to start like this, waiting to be connected to other letters. In the middle, it comes like this. Just a little loop. And you continue. And at the end, it comes like this. Okay. Now, let's take a few words. Here's one that starts with the letter far. Far means mouse. We can say far. So far. Okay. Now, many people in Arab countries, they say far, which is a mouse. But the actual way to say it is far. Now, how do you get the in the middle? Remember, we just put that little crescent moon on the flying carpets. Now we have far. Now, another word is ghafar. Ghafar means to forgive. Gha. We just took that letter. Fa. R. If we put the diacritical marks, it's Gha, Fa, Ra. Ghafara. Okay, which means he forgave. And here's an example of a word where the fa comes at the end, which is to dry. Jeff. Starts with a G, the J sound, which is the Jim. Jeff. Okay. Jeff. And that's our f sound. Now we have the q sound. Again, this is one of the letters one of the sounds that many people are not used to saying, but it's a k, but it's deeper. So you say the k, notice where your tongue, the area of your tongue that's touching the roof of your mouth, the q is going deeper. It's always going deeper. All these sounds, they have a deeper tone to them. So instead of k, you say q. Okay? This is how it's written. It's kind of like the f, but this one has a little bowl underneath. Okay, now when it comes at the beginning, it's like this, 2 dots. In the middle, it's that loop again. And in the end, it's like this. 2 dots. Okay? Now, take some examples. The first example is qasr, which is castle. And you can feel the similarities between the two words. Qasr, castle. Here we go. It starts with a q. And there's a s. And then we have a r. Qasr. Okay. Another word which is raqs, which means dance. Okay. And here's one that might sound like something you know already, which is baq. It starts with a b. And then q. What do you think baq means? It means bug. Bug, you know that pesty little creature? So baq means bug. And that does it for the letter q. Okay, now this brings us to the end of this lesson. Practice what you've learned, and I'll see you in the next video.